Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Dear humanity, I've come again today and the topic is health. Health, we are going to look at health and looking at the brain of a human being, as well as understanding the religion of Islam, the most holy, beautiful religion from which every human being was created. We are going to look at Islam and the brain of a human being, and also the true religion for all living human beings on this planet Earth. We are going to look at the brain and the most holy, beautiful name, Allah. What does the most holy, beautiful name, Allah, means, and what does it? How does it reflect in human lives? My people, what you see on the screen is the most holy, beautiful name, Allah, the name of the creator of the universe and whatever that exists. That is the name Allah, how it is written in the Arabic format, or in the Arabic texture format, or characters. The character which you see, which looks like a continuous W. It has a section from the right, or from the right to left. It has a U and a U and a continuous section of a U, which looks like a continuous W. My people, that is a character or a signature which makes up the foundation base of the brain of a human being, how the brain sits in the skull of the head of a human being. How the brain sits in the skull, the foundation base of the brain, how the brain sits in the skull of a human being. My people, a brain, if you look at it again, it has a U and joined to a U, and then there is another section which is continuous, which works up like a continuous W. What you see are the 5 subsections of the brain. But we are going to start with the 2 major sections of the brain. When you view the brain of a human being from the forehead, it has 2 sections, a left section and a right section. What you see on the screen now, a U and a U, that represent the 2 sections, the left section and the right section. Whereas the other continuous section of the whatever the character or the holy name of Allah shows how the brain has subsections. If you are to view the brain from the sides, that is in the ears, the side in the head of a human being, if you are to view the brain of a human being from the sides in the sides in the ears, it has 5 subsections. What you see, it also, the character shows 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections. So when you are viewing the brain of a human being from the forehead, it shows 2 sections, the left section and the right section. The left section is represented by a U, and also the left section is the right section is represented by U, joined to a U, which is the left section, and it has a continuous section on it, which makes it looks like a continuous W. My people, this very holy, most holy name is the name which represents, which confirms that every living human being on this planet is a Muslim, and that every human being was created by Allah, and every human being is a Muslim, because the foundation base on which the brain sits in the skull is exactly what the most holy name or signature, or the most holy beautiful name Allah, how it sits in this, how the brain sits in the skull, is exactly what you see on the screen. The two sections, the left section and the right section, and also the 5 sections, which is if you view the brain from the side, that's in the ears. So my people, the reason why I'm bringing this information to humanity is to be able to free themselves from the bondage of foolishness, the bondage of foolishness whereby men and women over the years have engaged in what we call religious wars. Religious wars whereby they spilled blood of innocent women and children, innocent, vulnerable women and children. Why? Because most of the wars that you see, most of the conflicts that you see are fueled by the sadistic belief, which believes that they spilled the blood of Jesus, of the Son of God. So that it implies that you can't spill the blood of any other human being. So the religion, the belief that we are conjectured by men, have led men to divide each and everyone from one race, because all human beings are from one man, that Prophet Adam alayhi wasalam is the father of all living human beings. And to prove that Adam alayhi wasalam is a Muslim. He's the father of human beings, he's a Muslim. And also, Allah to make it simpler and clearer, he has said that the signature or the signature of his name, his most beautiful holy name, is what he laid down in the skull, in the brain of a human being, to make a foundation how the brain sits in the skull of a human being. That's why we as human beings even have what you call a percentage of mental development, which allows human beings to be able to recognize their mother, their father, their children, to recognize everything around you. But with that percentage of mental development, it is required of men to use that percentage of mental development not to engage in bloodshed, conflicts, which leads to bloodshed. Because we as human beings, you have what you call men, because of the percentage of mental development, men even go as far as saying, I own a cow, I own a horse, I have a cow, I have a horse, I have a goat. Those creations are living creations as well. A goat is a living creation, a cow is a living creation, a horse is a living creation. And if you are told that, you human being, can you lift your cow with one arm? You cannot, because it's huge. But the fact that you are given a percentage of mental development, which allows you to say, to look at the cow and see that a cow has benefits, that men gather milk and what have you from a cow. But at the same time, a cow is a Muslim creation. But with it is that you as a human being who was given a percentage of mental development, you can say that I own that cow. That cow is mine. Whereas a cow is a living creation, which is entitled whatever that Allah decreed for it. For instance, it consumes grass as the best thing that Allah created. That's all He knows. It knows. The cow knows that whatever that Allah created on this planet, the best thing that it can get is grass. It eats grass, and yet when it eats grass, you can either have milk from a cow. Even some people even eat meat of a cow or beef, whatever. But the reason why I'm bringing this is you as human beings, you have a mental development which allows you to even whatever they say, that cow is mine, and you go as well as milking it and get milk from it and what have you. But at the same time, you cannot recognize that if a cow, when it's grazing on the path, it does not do any other thing apart from whatever the bulls, which are they are fighting for a female cow. But most of the time, the cow is busy kind of feeding without any confrontation with another cow, whatever. But the cow has what we would consider a lower mental percentage of development, a lower mental development than a human being. But it feeds without even knocking out or attacking the other cow which is feeding too. But a human being who has a mental development, which shows that this human being says this cow belongs to him. This cow belongs to him, and at the same time, he milks it. He does whatever so that he gets benefit from it. However, with that, what I'm trying to show you is that whatever that tells you that you own a cow, you can milk it, you can can use that ability, that mental whatever, to see that human beings are special creations, whereby you can recognize that is my mother, who is who is a mother to a child or a 15-year-old girl or a 15-year-old boy across the road, who has a mother too. Though your color may look different, your color of your skin as different of you as an individual, your color may look different from the person across the road, because the person across the road is different. But you are human beings. That person can talk, and if you are walking along and you met her or him, you can say, "How are you?" And very funny enough, they will say, "I'm fine. How is the family? How is everyone?" That tells you that under no circumstances should you sit in your comfort zone and say, "I think I don't like the people or where that or the other end of the continent or the other end of planet Earth in China or Australia or whatever. I don't like those people." Yet you have a mother in your house, and the people over the other end of the planet or the other whatever time zone and latitude of the planet, there are people there. They have mothers, they have children, they have the right to enjoy the same thing that you and your mother and whatever enjoys by either milking your cow and whatever. But the thing is, you should not engage in any sadistic practices where you see other human beings as enemies. Because if you've seen a cow, it feeds on, it grazes every day without going out of whatever and attacking another cow while they are grazing. So you as a human beings who have mental development, it will amaze you if I told you that the activities of mankind in major developed nations, whatever they involve, they spend the 365 days doing is manufacturing weapons. Can you imagine? Manufacturing weapons. 365 days of the year. And with manufacturing weapons, they do the rehearsal. Rehearsing, how do we exterminate that nation? How do we fight off that whatever? These are men and women who have what we call a mental development, which allows them to kind of sit and twist their heads and go into the sadistic drunkenness and say, I'll manufacture a nuclear warhead. A nuclear warhead, if it's exploded or donated or exploded over New York or Washington or whatever, nothing will survive. Even the environment, the soil will be kind of put out of action. But these are men who sit and they say, we are intelligent. We are intelligent. With our intelligence, our advanced kind of intelligence, we manufacture these weapons, nuclear warheads, ballistic missiles, and we explode this on other people because here we are human. Those are out there, they're not human. My people, you have a mental development. You are given a percentage of mental development, not to manufacture weapons, not to attack the very environment while you are testing your weapons. My people, I'm showing you what Islam says to you as a human being. A man out there says you're waking up every day and you whatever you're paid is to enter a warehouse and twist your head and think that I'm going to manufacture even a more powerful ballistic missile. What if this ballistic missile is it pointed at in your backyard, in your country? What if someone is whatever and points it at your city? And your children, you have children, you have a wife, you have a daughter, you have a father, you have a mother. What if someone, the same way you manufacture a ballistic missile or a nuclear warhead, someone says, I'll point my mind towards this foolish man. Who benefits? Two of you. I think none of you benefits from misusing or mismanaging the percentage of your mental development, and instead of engaging in unity, uniting the human race, recognizing the beauty of how beautiful it is to be a living human being who has a mother, who has a daughter, who has a future. But today, my people, let me tell you one thing. Today, you as living human beings, there is no such a thing for you have not put anything in store for future generations. What you have in your stores for future generations, ask the people who guard the warehouses of nuclear warheads. Ask the people that how many nuclear warheads do you have in the warehouses here, either in New York, in America, or Britain, or France, or whatever. And who of you has ever benefited from them? Because with them right now, you as people who have manufactured them, you are not safe in your zones. You are not safe. Do you think your children? Do you think your children are safe with those dirty things that you have accumulated, or those dirty things that you spend 365 days accumulating or amassing? Do you think your children have a future at all? Do you think that your children have a future? Or my people, I'm trying to show you that this business of all whatever that is led to this manufacturing of engaging in sadistic beliefs of whereby you accumulate weapons of mass destruction began when you conjectured a belief saying that we believe in the bloodshed. My people, Allah has forbidden the bloodshed of one another. Allah has forbidden the spilling of blood of one another. With that, He has said, do not engage in accumulating weapons on a planet, on a planet where your castles are, where your palaces are, where your bungalows are, where your businesses are, and you accumulate tons and tons of weapons, whereby a man in whatever in America can buy a gun anytime he wants. After he can go and say, these are automatic assault rifles. You can own it anytime you want. On the streets of men and women and innocent, defenseless, vulnerable women of America. A man who comes out of nowhere with his rifle assault, automatic assault rifle, and he opens fire on innocent children, even in their classes. Children in classes. Children in classes trying to take what you call an education. All this happens because you are a people who thought that you are entitled to your way of life, which you conjectured, not the way that Allah laid down for you. You said we wanted our way of life, and with that you conjectured a blasphemous whatever that says we spilled this blood of a son of God, whom you call Jesus. My people, in America or whatever, because I speak of America, because on so many occasions I see bloodshed, men coming out of nowhere, and the kind of spread bloods, kind of flow bloods in every direction, killing innocent whatever, innocent women, children, and men. Why? In America, you have a law that you are entitled to have a weapon. That's why you have shops that sell the weapons openly, not knowing that if a man can use a car that is driven on the street, on the road, while you are going either to work or whatever, coming to work, any human being can easily use a car as a weapon against pedestrians. What if he comes across an automatic assault rifle, which you people have made as commodities of trade, not only in America, but they're exported all over the world. They're exported all over the world. A man in the jungle can easily own a rifle, an assault rifle, and with the innocent women of the jungle, they don't know what a gun is. The man just goes and comes out of nowhere after having a bottle of whatever alcohol, and he goes to the village and slaughters innocent children and women. Because why? These guns are freely available. They are freely exported. They are freely available, freely exported anywhere in the world. And yet we have what we call the UN, United Nations Assembly, whatever it is, I don't know, which over the last, I don't know how many months, whatever, because I haven't been on the planet now, I've just approached I'm passing by. And I noticed that over the whatever there's been a war, a conflict, whereby the UN sits every other day and say, we cannot stop this whatever. Why can't you stop and a holocaust being perpetrated against a people who are in a refugee camp. People in a refugee who are living in a refugee camp, who are defenseless, whereby the UN, these are UN refugee camps on which ballistic missiles are being exploded on 3-year little girls and women. And some older boys who are around 13 and 15 or 18. And a government that has a seat on the UN whatever Security Assembly, and the America who have the whatever, and whatever they say, we cannot make a decision. And I hear, because I'm somewhere far from here, but I can see whatever that is going on. The America says, the senators of America say, we are sending off a new package of ballistic missiles, a new package, a new shipment. And some whatever people try and say, please don't swear, don't do this. My people, I want to show you that you, men and women, either of America, of Europe, the mental development in your heads, or the whatever that you look at, when you look in the mirror, remember that the brain in your head has what is foundation base, is a signature which says, do not shed blood, because we gave you a mental development. We gave you what we call a mental development, whereby the most important duty of you as a human being or as a senator is not to allow weapons to be in hands of men or anywhere on the planet, because weapons are things that are used to spill blood of other human beings. You, as a senator, in the Senate of America, you might have protection offered to you by the American government. That any man who is kind of roaming the streets with a weapon wouldn't come very close to you because of the bodyguards that the American government provides. But a child or a 16-year-old girl in the jungle of Africa, where the guns which are made from America are cheap, that girl has no safety, has no bodyguard. That girl in whatever has no bodyguard to say that this crazy man who is carrying an assault rifle manufactured in America, which is in the jungle now, you cannot protect yourself from a drunken man who is having an American rifle, who working in the jungle. He doesn't spare either a child, a 2-year-old child, like what we see on the TV now, on the wilder screen TV, where you see children even begging for water. Children in Palestine begging for a drop of water to quench the thirst in their throat. My people, me, I may be kind of, all I want to show you is that you are all living Muslims on this planet. As American senators, you are all living Muslims on this planet. As Europeans, you are all living Muslims on this planet. As Chinese, you are all living Muslims on this planet. As Russian, you are all living Muslims on this planet. As Indians, you are all living Muslims on this planet. As Africans, you are all living Muslims on this planet. The Red Indians are all living Muslims on this planet. Whereby the only way you can kind of find beauty in life is through you as an American senator, when you visit Hong Kong, if you look at the people of Hong Kong when you're alive, they will say, "Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome here. Where would you like to have lunch from? In a Hilton, whatever, Pala, or whatever." That is what is required of you. The same way a Chinese man arrives in America. Don't say, we don't like these people because they are advancing very fast and we kind of, no. Just welcome him. Build beautiful hotels. Build a resource that are welcoming people. To see that when I visit America, I can see that every American is free. No guns on the street, no men walking up and down with assault rifle, spreading bullets either on the senator's children himself because he left them at home with their mother and he went off to the Senate. While he was in the Senate, the mother said, let's go in the park and walk. While they were in the park walking or having whatever, a man came out of nowhere and spread bullets on his own children. A man who says, we are sending off ballistic missiles to those people because we are shipping. They are terrorists. 3-year-old little girls in a refugee camp are terrorists. A 3-year-old little girls in a refugee camp are terrorists. I think I don't know whether you mind. I don't know when did you last watch news or CNN news or whatever, NBC news, when they show you that kind of children are roaming the streets of whatever with nowhere to find water, nowhere to find food, whereas your child in America, in Chicago, in Texas, in whatever, in New York, in Manhattan, drinking water while some of it, they just throw away. I mean, my people, I'll tell you one thing. When you were created, this is to all human beings, when you are created, before the moment you come out of your mother's womb, there are sounds that every human being makes. To you, modern people of today, you call those sounds crying. The baby is crying. No, the baby is not crying. The baby knows only one creator, and that is the most holy, glorified, almighty Allah, that commands the baby that as soon as you come out of your mother's womb, say these words to your mother and the people who are around your mother, who are there to welcome you. The child says, Allah, 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 Allah. She's saying Allah, Allah because to you human beings it sounds like crying. No, it's not crying. One of the reasons is that she has never used her tongue to speak any word. However, the most holy, glorified, almighty Allah did put a signature in the throat of every human being, that every human being, as soon as they come out of their mother's womb, they use that signature, or Allah commands that signature to testify to every human being out there that is Allah who created you. When that is mentioned, that Allah created you, either you a senator, a Christian militant senator in the United States now, you did that, you did say Allah the day you came out of your mother's womb. You did say that. Do you know why you are still alive and you are protected? Because when that name is mentioned, Allah, it demands peace, security, and protection. Not in terms of ballistic missiles. When it's mentioned to you, when it was mentioned to your mother, do you know what that name meant when your mother heard your voice, even though she did not know that we were saying Allah? the name registered in the center of her brain. As a result, her breasts released milk for you. That's why maybe you are still alive. But use your brain wisely. Use your brain wisely and do not commit atrocities against any other human being. Do not engage in any sort of signing of new whatever shipments of ballistic missiles to go and be used against a people in already what you call a UN refugee camp. Because I want to show you something else before I switch off, before I sign off. Every muscle on your body, as a senator, every muscle on your body, even on your tongue, is constructed, is kind of built by the help or by the red and white blood cells. The red and white blood cells in your body. The region of every red and white blood cell in your body, the region of those cells is Islam. Because the sun in the sky, the region of the sun in the sky is Islam. The region of the moon, the nearest celestial object to planet Earth is Islam. And it's the celestial object of the moon that regulates your mother's reproductive cycle, that you were able to go in the womb to be able to survive for 9 months without you to be able to be carried by your mother for 9 months without having any problem, because of the region of the moon and the application and the absolute divine holy decree of Islam, which makes the moon rotates around planet Earth while it's telling the mother, seeing your body in good condition. Is your mother's body able to carry you for 9 months? If you turn around today and you say, I think I'm not a Muslim, I'm a Christian, and I'm fighting every Muslim, and I'll manufacture ballistic missiles and kill every Muslim. No. You are fighting your own red and white blood cells in your body, or you are fighting the very muscles on your body. Because the red and blood cells on your body or in your body, or which builds every muscle on your body, they hear and understand whatever that you are either planning or thinking. But they send a warning and they say, I think today you can have a little bit of uncomfortable when you get a headache, unexplained headache. So they kind of relax and say, let's give him time. The next day, it will not be a simple headache. A human body, which has a red and white blood cell, which has built your muscles on your body, has a right to commit suicide if your way of life is to kill other Muslims, like you are a Muslim, but you are involved in the shedding blood of other Muslims. You are a senator, you are Muslim, but you are involved in the shedding blood of other Muslims. So, your own blood, red and white blood system, which builds every muscle in your body, will kind of start one by one, trigger off the mutation of those blood, red and white blood cells into cancer tumors. Cancer tumors. Why? Because they have a right to say, why are you shedding blood of 3-year little defenseless girls? And we, defenseless and vulnerable girls and women in Palestine, when we are building when we've built your muscle, every muscle in your body, and you say you're doing that because you believe that you're not a Muslim, whereas your mother was able to go through her whatever reproductive cycles through the absolute divine holy decree of Islam, which has a pulse in the moon, and that pulse, frequency pulse of the moon, which is the pulse of life, is the pulse that it was kind of helped your mother to go through the whatever, to be able to go through the changes of reproductive whatever cycles. Maybe you did not know what Islam is. Maybe you do whatever you do, you make decisions and say, oh, let's expert whatever, because you don't know what Islam is. But I've explained to you what Islam is. The moon in the nearest celestial or whatever object, the moon, has what we call a frequency pulse of life. And that frequency pulse of life also is registered in every girl child, in every woman. That is the frequency pulse that makes a woman, or calculates that this woman, according to this whatever levels of gravity, reproductive gravity dynamics in her body, she's able to either to conceive, or she needs to go and balance those levels of reproductive gravity dynamics in her body. So the celestial pulse, frequency pulse of the moon, or the celestial frequency pulse of Islam in the moon, will be in touch in 1 minute. It contacts a human's body 3 times in order to check the levels of gravity and whatever, so that the woman is able either to know that on such and such after 28 days, some whatever gravity dynamics in this woman's body needs to be replaced, either by releasing that is which has become unhealthy and unclean, and then taking her what you call a reproductive cycle. So when you turn around and say, I don't like Islam, I hate Muslims, I think maybe you didn't know what Islam is. Maybe you did not know what Islam is. And I would say that if you hear this message, look, you listen to it maybe more than one time. Then you know what Islam is. Once you know what Islam is, I think you find it a little bit that over the years as Americans or Europeans, the belief, the sadistic belief of bloodshed has kind of made you victims of your own whatever that you ended up. I mean, in America, I'm very sure America has nuclear weapons, but they don't know why they have them. One of the reasons they have them is because they want to fight anybody who say that is a Muslim, isn't it? My people, I am telling you that do not, as human beings, engage in confrontation or the bloodshed of children, women and children, because the Palestinian, whatever, they say we are Muslims, and the Israelis, they say we are the Israelis, we are Americans, we are Christians. Not forgetting, I'll tell you this before I switch off. Before the Second World War, I was something like I think 14 or whatever. I was here in England in a place called. I was born in Sheffield, a place called Sheffield, in England. That's where me and my mother lived. When I was about 13, we moved to Devon, a place called Devon, also is found in England. When we moved to Devon, the war broke out, and I was growing up, and I was at the age whereby I was able to train as a pilot. When I was trained as a pilot, I went over to Germany, and I dropped a bomb over Germany. On my way back, my plane was hit by the Germans. So I couldn't make it back to England. And ever since, when that happened, the next thing I knew that when my plane was hit, the next thing I know was I was born. I found myself as a 5-year-old boy in Palestine. You may find this story very whatever, but that is true. It's true. I found myself in Palestine, and I used to live in a place called Yafo with my grandma and my mom and whatever. And I was a Palestinian. The very day that the Europeans invaded Palestine, or the Israelis invaded Palestine, Allah just took me out of that place. I don't know how it happened. And I found myself in a different part of the world, with a different complexion, with a different whatever. And that's where I grew up. And today, I say to you as whatever, Americans, whatever, that I did participate in Second World War in defense of European Jews, the 5 million Jews or 6 million Jews that were being slaughtered by the Christian whatever of Europe. Because every weapon that was used to kill the 5 million Jews was manufactured in Europe. And some countries even used to export Jews from their countries to the concentration camps. Some countries in Europe participated in the exporting of Jews wherever they were to the concentration camp where these Jews were killed. As a British man, a young British man who was ready to be able to fight, I took off from me, whatever, and went to drop off a bomb. When I dropped the bomb, I was successful. But on my way back, my plane was shot. And I kind of, after whatever, when my plane was shot, I just found myself as a 5-year-old boy in Palestine, in a place called Yafo. So today when I see that the very people one day I died because of them, and the people committing atrocities on such a scale that these atrocities are on a world television, TV screens with no justification to commit atrocities against the people in a UN refugee camp. Then I say that he who gave me life when I was trying to defend the Israelis while they were being exterminated by the Christian whatever of Europe. And these are the very people today kind of doing the other whatever. I say, my people, many of you do not understand what life is because you are a people who kind of were not warned. You are a people who were not warned. You are a people who were not warned. You are a people who were not warned. So, I've showed you what Islam is. Islam is the most holy, beautiful religion from which you were created, from which your brain, if you work with it properly, you will be able to recognize that indeed you are a Muslim. And with that being a Muslim, in Islam, Allah commands us that do not shed blood of one another and do not manufacture weapons. Do not engage in any sadistic beliefs, because those beliefs may kind of trigger of the mutation of every red blood cell and white blood cell in your body, that you contract a disease like cancer. Because your body, your red and white blood cells in your body, which builds every muscle in your body, they have the right to tell you that I think you are in confrontation with the religion that build every muscle on your body. By doing that, they tell you, because your belief is kind of tied and kind of whatever on the extermination of every Muslim, then your body will say, okay, then maybe we take you into this very similar thing whereby you are hit by a brain tumor, whatever tumor, and you need to go on what you call chemotherapy. As a senator, find out from your doctor what chemotherapy effects are on a human body. Maybe one day you will send them a message and say, young man, I think I heard your voice from not from a TV screen, but from the universe. Because the universe, or Mother Nature, now, right now, today, Mother Nature, which is, I'll tell you something before I switch off. Islam is Mother Nature. Mother Nature is Islam. Whatever food that you've ever put in your stomach, the origin of that food is Islam. Every drop of water that you've ever put in your whatever, the origin of that water is Islam. So do not engage in any dirty, foolish, sadistic, delusion, drunken, whatever, that you are fighting Islam. You are fighting your own bodies. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.